What's going on, everybody? It's John. Yeah, as everybody who's checked out my channel knows, it can be anything from bass playing to reptiles to my other hobby of raising chickens. I unfortunately, over this past year, had some predators get into my chicken area and pretty much do away with every chicken I had. I had been trapping and moving all the raccoons off my property. In the last batch of predator, not really sure what it was. I do have some very large tomcats that are feral in the area, so I really do think that the cats got them the last time. Possibly I've had some mink or other type of long-bodied predator, and I know I've had some raccoons. Raccoons usually get at night and will take a head, rip open, and unfortunately just eat the insides. Minks will definitely eat most of the bird, and cats typically will just mangle the crap out of your chicks or chickens. I unfortunately had to euthanize the last two. Their combs and beaks were just destroyed from the attacks. So unfortunately, I had to do that. But so this year we're completely redoing their outdoor enclosure, which I have on order. I'll do some videos after this to kind of highlight that system. So I ordered these girls from mypetchicken.com, as I typically do. They're up in Ohio. Takes a little longer to get them. Usually, any other times I've ordered for a 1-day, 2-day delivery. These girls actually left on a Monday, didn't get to me until a Thursday, which is okay. I mean, that's stretching the limits. Chicks will live off of their yolk from just hatching for the first 2-3 days anyhow. So really, it's the critical point when you get them is to make sure they can find their water, which they promptly get dirty. I've cleaned that out 3 times already today, and it's only 9 o'clock, 9:30. But they're all eating good. I did order 8 and got 7. One unfortunately did not survive the trip. And this year, for the first time, I just sort of ordered a mix of good layers. I don't really know what kind these are, except for one is going to be an Egyptian Fuyama, which I think is this black one down here. I had ordered 2. I do believe the one that passed was her twin. So they're a neat little bird. They lay a smaller egg, but they are very like an old bird looking, long legs, and they're very tough. They're good protectors. I don't have a rooster. I don't ever raise a rooster. Roosters cause problems, and you don't need a rooster to get eggs. So these 7 girls are pretty good so far. One little runt there, the brown one. I wasn't sure at all if she was going to make it, but she's doing pretty good. I do see some butt crust on a couple of them. Not a big deal. It'll usually just fall off, or I will work on wiping it off. But clearly, those 2 are the same. Those 2 yellowish ones are the same. And I think the brown and dark brown are the same breed. Be nice if I get some Easter eggs. Oh, I know. It's very exciting to be on video. So we're going to kind of monitor their growth. These girls are about a week and a half old at this point, and you can already see they're getting full feathers on their wingtips. And right now I've got them in a very large tub, 200 quart tub. Sorry, I had to look at the label. This is the first time I've raised them in a tub like this. I have this brooder heater for them. Sorry for the kind of Frankenstein tape job. As they get bigger, their heat needs change. So I kind of raise it up as they get bigger. And you can tell when they're getting too warm, they won't sleep directly under it. They'll start moving out away from it. I'm feeding them some chick starter grower feed, and just they're drinking plain tap water. This is bedding that is safe for reptiles, rodents, and chicks. I do believe it's pine. It's so it's not odorous like cedar would be, and the oils in cedar are actually bad for most animals. I don't really recommend it. So I believe the brooder heater runs at a constant about 96, 97 degrees, which is the perfect temperature for little chicks. I'll pull back here. You can see the whole tub that I keep them in. Plenty big enough. They'll be in here inside the house for about another week, maybe. Once they get rid of their down and are at least on their full coat of feathers, they can be in a protected enclosure that I have in my garage, actually, that's made out of some old pallets. And I just kind of fence the outside and put a fencing over the top. And they'll stay pretty safe out there. And then once they've gone through their first complete molt, they can then self-regulate their temperature and then go outside. Our new enclosure should be here sometime later in June. It's May right now, mid-May. I usually order my chicks so they come within the first or second week of May. That way they can get outside for the summer and then maybe even start laying by fall. And I'll still get a few eggs per bird during the winter. It's be the same coop I've always used. I just got to clean that up from the last batch of girls. So, sorry, but a little bit of a long video, but just kind of want to get started with showing you what's going on. I'll probably check back in here in another week so you can see how they've changed. And then certainly once the enclosure comes, kind of talk about it and some of the very specific safety features I wanted in a new enclosure. Be a little smaller than the one I built for them, but much, much safer. So these guys have been doing really good, eating really good. They've all found water, and they are certainly developing into little birds. I do keep a lid. You can buy these tubs at Walmart. Really, if I had just 4 birds, I don't think I'd need one as tall. Lengthwise is still good to get a nice long one. I could use this for another animal later, maybe even a small tortoise, something like that. But here's the lid. Just cut out a bunch of big holes in there, get plenty of good airflow. It gets warm in their container, but we don't want it to get too hot. So we want to make sure they can get plenty of air in. So I put the big end at the far end and the little end at the front end, and then the heat just kind of circulates everything around. So yeah, unfortunately we got to keep them in our empty bedroom, but if you keep them inside too long, they start kicking up stuff, and as they molt and grow new feathers, chicks can be very, very dusty. They don't really smell. What you do smell is wet shavings, with their manure. It's not really have that much of a smell to it. But yeah, they are quite happy and doing really well. So we'll check back in about a week, check on their development, and then when I get them sort of in their temporary protected enclosure outside, we'll check in again as well. All right, thanks a lot. My name is John, and again, next video could be about reptiles. Next video could be about base playing. You never know. Thanks for watching, and talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.